Have you ever wondered why doing everything quote-unquote right, getting the degree, working 60 hours a week, still leaves so many people totally broke?
It's crazy, right? Welcome to Learnfinity. Today, we are challenging some serious conventional wisdom in this explainer. We're breaking down the core wealth-building philosophies inspired by Robert Kiyosaki's legendary ideas.
Exactly. We are completely flipping the script on how most of us were taught to think about money, and it is going to be a real game changer.
Seriously, why is it that smart, highly educated people so often struggle financially? We've all been handed the exact same instruction manual for life. Go to school, get good grades, land a safe job, and work incredibly hard.
Right, but if you look around, it is incredibly common to see brilliant professionals, doctors, engineers, accountants, completely trapped in a cycle of financial stress. You got to ask, how can someone be so academically gifted but financially struggling?
Well, to figure out this paradox and learn how to actually overcome it, we first have to look at two radically different perspectives on money. Section 1, The Tale of Two Dads. The source material illustrates this concept beautifully through two father figures. On one side, you have the highly educated, hardworking, biological father, the poor dad. His mindset is rooted in limitation. When faced with something expensive, he just says, "I can't afford it." Or he minimizes money's importance by claiming he's just not interested in it.
Yeah, and by saying that, his brain just shuts off. But then you have the rich dad. He didn't have a fancy degree, but he had an incredibly empowering mindset. Instead of a dead-end statement, he asks a question. How can I afford it?
And that right there forces your brain to actually start working and looking for solutions. The core philosophy revealed here is that the wealthy fundamentally do not believe in working for money. They believe in making money work for them.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 2, Escaping the Rat Race. Grasping that mental shift is the very first non-negotiable step to breaking out.
Oh, the rat race. We all know it, and honestly, a lot of us are running in it right now. It's a monotonous, lifelong loop. You wake up, you go to work, you earn a paycheck, you pay your bills, and then you wake up and do it all over again.
It's exhausting just talking about it. And what's fascinating and a bit terrifying is that this cycle isn't driven by logic or careful financial planning. It is driven by deeply ingrained, automatic, emotional reactions.
Totally. It boils down to two massive emotional drivers, fear and greed. First, the fear of not having enough money forces us out of bed and into a job. We hope the paycheck will soothe that anxiety. But then, payday arrives. You get a few bucks in your hands, and suddenly, desire takes over. You want the new car, the nice vacation, the bigger TV, so you spend the money. The fear returns, the greed returns, and you are endlessly running on the treadmill. And here's the kicker. Simply getting a pay raise doesn't fix it. A higher income usually just means bigger expenses.
Spot on. So moving to Section 3, Assets versus Liabilities. If earning a higher salary isn't a magic cure, how do we transition into a mechanical, highly logical approach to wealth?
It starts with rule number 1. It sounds absurdly simple, but almost nobody actually follows it. You must know the crucial difference between an asset and a liability. Period.
Right. An asset is simply something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. The wealthy spend their lives buying assets. The middle class spends their lives buying liabilities that they mistakenly believe are assets.
And when you map out the cash flow pattern of an asset, it all clicks. Notice how the money moves here. True financial literacy isn't about complex math. It's about reading the story the numbers tell you.
Exactly. When you acquire an asset, like a rental property, a side business, or dividend stocks, its cash flow feeds directly up into your income column. It is an engine that actively generates money and puts it right into your pocket, whether you get out of bed that day or not.
Let's see how this builds when we look at real-world examples. This is where conventional myths get totally exploded. Real estate that generates income, businesses, stocks, bonds, these are assets.
But look at the liabilities column. Consumer debt, flashy cars, and yes, even that giant expensive primary residence you live in.
Yep, that's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. If your house is constantly draining your pocket every month with a massive mortgage, property taxes, and high maintenance, it is acting as a liability. It is taking money away from you, not giving it to you.
So true. This brings us to Section 4, the power of financial literacy. Being able to recognize these cash flow patterns in your own life is only possible if you actively invest in your own financial learning.
Society heavily pushes academic and professional schooling.
We are taught how to be excellent employees. We learn how to work incredibly hard for a paycheck.
But traditional schooling completely ignores teaching us the financial aptitude of what to actually do with that money once we make it. People think more money solves money problems. It doesn't. A lack of financial education is the real root of the struggle.
To build your financial genius and actually lower your risk when investing, you need to construct a foundation based on these 4 pillars. 1. Accounting, which is just financial literacy and reading the numbers. 2. Investing, the actual science of making money create more money.
Right.
And 3. Understanding markets, grasping supply, demand, and economic conditions. And 4. The law, knowing the legal rules, corporate structures, and tax advantages.
So the crucial point when you combine all these skills is that wealth isn't about gambling or getting lucky.
Not at all. By mastering this exact combination of skills, accounting, investing, markets, and law, you stop blindly throwing money at the wall hoping it sticks. You start developing the technical knowledge to spot incredible opportunities that everyone else misses. You learn to cut the odds down and minimize your risk.
Which takes us to our final core concept, Section 5, making money work for you. Ultimately, applying this financial education leads to a single, massive shift in how you live your life and structure your time.
It's all about power and control. When you dedicate your entire life to working for money, you surrender your power to an employer. Your livelihood is entirely dependent on them. But when you focus on building up that asset column, when you create machines that generate passive income, you keep the power. You reclaim your freedom. Money becomes your absolute best employee, working 24/7 without ever asking for a sick day.
All right, let's distill everything we've covered into 5 actionable lessons you can take away right now, whether you're a student, a freelancer, or working a 9-to-5. First, invest in your mind before anything else. Read the books, take the courses. Second, be ruthlessly honest about what is an asset and what is a liability in your life. Third, manage your fear. Don't play it so safe that you miss out on growth. Start investing early. Fourth, mind your own business, meaning focus on growing your personal asset column, not just your employer's bottom line. And finally, change your formula. Stop working for money and learn the science of making it work for you.
I want to leave you with this final, powerful thought. Every single dollar bill that enters your hand is a choice. If you spend it foolishly, you're choosing a path of struggle.
Exactly. If you sink it all into liabilities, you're choosing the rat race. But if you invest it in your mind and use it to acquire true assets, you hold the ultimate power to determine your own financial destiny. So what choice will you make today?
Thank you so much for joining us on this explainer. If you found this breakdown valuable, make sure to hit that subscribe button for LearnFinity so we can keep bringing you the best concepts to level up your life.
See you next time.